So before ending the video journey of today, I kind of feel like saying something about something interesting and kind of having a sort of more, I don't know, in-depth argument about something, but maybe without spending too much time on it. So am I capable of coming up with some elaborate argument about some interesting subject where I can say something interesting about it in a powerful and convincing way without spending too much time? That's maybe what I felt like doing. Of course, among the subjects there's always the usual suspects. The relationship between information and physical reality being among the classics. When in the more lovable mood, the love of reality as is always a good one. Then, of course, there's everything connected with the possibility spaces and the possible futures and how we could integrate our perspectives and our present actions, which are informational actions when speaking into the machine, how we could relate that to the best possible futures. And of course there's all the questions about what the best possible futures could be. Now, maybe that's something. I kind of feel a little going that way now. I kind of want to imagine what a great world would look like. What society will look like in 10 years. I think that this is a very interesting thought experiment. The thought experiment that I'm putting up here is, what will society actually look like in 10 years given the best possible development? Oh, now the mind immediately responds, what do you mean by the best possible development? That's a tough question. Sure is. That's why it's interesting. So that's what we gotta go into. Now I'm going to just present a hypothesis here about what the world could look like in 10 years given the best possible development. Now my starting point here is that the world has changed drastically in a very short period of time, and so has also the human capabilities of solving problems and organizing existence in general. This means that this is a point in time when there's good reasons to aim really, really high and to not settle for anything mediocre. So my vision of the world in 10 years is that within 10 years, pretty well within 10 years, we'll reach a situation where there's no poverty or homelessness or unnecessary human suffering anywhere on the planet. Of course, this would be incredibly beneficial because we wouldn't have all of the social problems. We would get rid of so many of the problems of crime and terrorism and all kinds of mental illnesses and physical illnesses and all of the problems that this creates. And of course, we would feel much better about ourselves if we knew that every single one of our brothers and sisters were taken care of, and they were having a great, decent, and dignified, high-quality life where the primary needs were taken care of. So we can, start with the primary needs of mentioned by the Maslow pyramid and all of that stuff, and have good quality food, good quality fresh water, good air to breathe, somewhere to sleep at night, somewhere to take a shower, and having many resources available, and of course being in a good social environment. So first of all, no poverty, no homelessness, none of the unnecessary suffering. So what about a war and security and conflict? Of course, all of that is totally disappeared in 10 years. Then we've designed a global security system which actually guarantees the physical security of every single person. And it also guarantees that if any single person violates this or tries to violate it, they will be discovered immediately. And then there will be a protective system somewhat similar to the jails and prison and police services of today, which will take care of that person and make sure that that person is incapable of doing any more harm. However, the prisons will be very much changed, because instead of punishment, we will have protection, so that every person who's committed a crime will be protected against themselves and for the rest of society, while simultaneously making sure that they can contribute value to society in the situation they're at by using their best talents, and also making sure that in combination with this, all of their own personal welfare and quality of life is as high as humanly possible. So this means that even if a person does commit violent crimes in this utopia that I'm describing, the person will nevertheless be taken well care of. Some of the freedom will be restricted, but it will only be the freedom to do harm which will be restricted, while the freedom to do good will be maintained. But the main point here is that then we have a system where the incentive structure of the entire system is lined up in such a way that the only way for any individual to become famous and respected and get all of the goodies is by actually contributing value to the rest of society. Now, the traditional growth model of economics has been replaced by a different model which does not need more resources, but which instead is fueled by resourcefulness. This means an economy which is based on intelligence and on using existing resources incredibly well, so to create real quality life for all of the people. This also means to find a way of living in maximum harmony with all of the natural ecosystems. What we're seeing here is villages and cities which are combined with big beautiful gardens, and we have cities which are also partially forests. So we have city-forest hybrids. Actually going a little back to what the old Maya kingdom used to do, without me knowing too much about it, they did have a kind of city structure in the forests. And this is something that we will come back to. Now, all of the food is being produced in the same areas where people eat the food. So that means that we cut every single part of the transport costs. Then instead of just putting down that transport, we just make sure that transport is, first of all, 100% environmentally friendly, and it's also transporting devices where people can travel, and travel continuously, and even live. Housing will not be a problem. We're gonna have houses everywhere, a lot of space for everyone, and we can build upwards, we can build downwards, we can build sideways. It doesn't matter. And we're using 3D printing, etc., whatever. We also have multi-purpose super flat platforms on the oceans. The wonderful thing about these platforms is that they perform many different functions at the same time. They clean up plastic in the oceans. They function as coral reefs. They are also floating gardens where birds can stop and they can enjoy the nectars of the flowers and the nuts of the branches, as can also the bees enjoy the living dusts. And of course all the food is locally produced, which means you will also then remove all of the problems with adding potentially damaging chemicals to the food. When you have the local food production, which is locally eaten, everything is totally fresh. So it means that the quality of what you eat is absolutely the best possible quality you could get. It's even beyond organic. This is like super organic. This again will lead to a much better health situation for all the people, and this will also lead to less illnesses and less costs for the rest of society with health services. Now, of course, health services will always be here, and that will be free for every person on the planet, and it will be superior health service, far beyond anything seen so far. We will use the best which medicine has ever come up with, and even the best which all the other alternative freaks have come up with, where maybe some of it may in some cases be very valuable. All put into a system where you can measure specifically and adjust specifically to every single person what is exactly in that person's need. So you will have totally specially tailored health services for every person. And of course, we will have the AI and the algorithms and everything working on all fields and making sure that the quality of the processes are as incredible as humanly possible. Generally, all kinds of resources on the whole planet will be incredibly efficiently distributed. There will be no waste whatsoever. All of the elements will go back into the system in ways where it is as beneficial as possible and where every part has many functions in all directions. So in some sense, we will then have a global super system, which is the internet. It is the Internet of Things, it is the AI, it is the complete organization system of everything on the planet. And in this system also, it will be a kind of global permaculture, where, as mentioned, everything is incredibly economically used. Now, when it comes to politics and the political debate, that will be so much different from anything we've seen until now. In 10 years, we're gonna laugh at the old election of 2016. The blame game, the talking in the past, the stupid behavior. Then we'll just say we don't have time for that bullshit anymore. Now we've just decided we all forgive everyone for everything that's happened. No one's perfect. You're all right, I'm all right. We're the living ones. That's the only thing that matters. We're the living ones. It's one life. It's one planet, and we're taking care of it, and we're using every single moment of it to make the best out of it for everybody. So it's a totally different political debate. It's a political debate where everyone strives for excellence. Everyone strives for continuous learning, for making better and better and better systems, more and more tailored for every person's need, more and more tailored for that person to be able to contribute to the rest of society while being taken care of themselves. Self-interest and collective interests aligned in every way. And if people wanna, fight and duel and do all of that stuff, there will be video games so spectacular, like nothing you've ever seen. And you can also have all kinds of competitions where people can compete playfully to create various valuable assets, which at the same time is being maximally useful for the rest of society. So in other words, even all of the energy put into games and play and sports, etc., will be utilized to its full potential. And of course, then we will explore. We will explore space, inner spaces, outer spaces. We will do journeys to Mars. We will build incredible structures, and we will make incredible music, incredible poetry, art, science, crafts. And generally speaking, every single living being on the whole planet will have a really high quality existence. I think we'll be there in about 10 years. Now that's one possible future. There's many others also. But if we do it right, that's where we're gonna be.